Disney quotes, but add "you piece of shit" at the end.
How dare you? All of you. Standing around deciding my future. I am not a prize to be won, you piece of shit.
Tell me a musical that you really want to perform in without telling me a musical that you really want to perform in.
Yeah, now I do what I want. 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 Now I do.
In 4 words, I want you to ruin a first date.
I'm required by law.
Billy Joel just makes rock music for theater kids.
And as a theater kid myself, I smell what you're stepping in, but I believe you got it backwards. Musical theater emulates Billy Joel on a consistent basis. The biggest example that I could think of off the top of my head is if you listen to La Vie Boheme and We Didn't Start the Fire back to back. Musical theater opinions, I don't know if they're popular or unpopular, they're just mine. Hamilton. I'm happy that there is a hip-hop musical, especially one that's done so well. I'm stoked that the musical theater world has actually embraced a hip-hop musical. It's been long overdue. And now we can finally differentiate the difference between rapping and spoken pattern. If you can't tell the difference, you need to study up a little bit more on Biggie Smalls and a little less on Bernie P. Basically, the witch from Into the Woods in the opening number, that's not rapping. Therefore, it should not and should never have been referred to as the witch's rap. That being said, Bernadette Peters is a goddess, she's just not rapping. If you have to premeditate speaking a phrase that should be sung in order to convey emotion or drive a point home, you're doing it wrong. You just compartmentalize acting and singing as 2 separate things. Therefore, you're not doing musical theater right. We don't need to do Rodgers and Hammerstein anymore. We don't.
What is the most embarrassing thing an audition panel has ever said to you?
Okay, so I'm auditioning for the national tour of Rent out here in LA, and I get it. When I have my glasses on, I lose the beard and I throw a scarf on, I know who I look like. So when I got called back for Roger, I was in shock. But I was stoked because I've always wanted to test my muscle with Roger as a character, but I never thought I'd have the opportunity because of how I look. Not only that, I got called back twice. And when I got to the 3rd callback is when I finally got to meet the director and the producer. After doing a section of One Song Glory and Your Eyes, there was a long silence, or at least it felt like forever, and the director said, "Why are you here?" I said, "Well, that guy invited me." He said, "Well, why aren't you at the Mark callback?" And I couldn't help myself. I said, "I have Halloween in my book." And he said, "No, it's okay. Thank you, and I'm sorry for wasting your time." Ouch. Big ouch.
What is an adult problem that nobody prepared you for?
Being alone, man, and I don't mean that in like some weird metaphor. I mean, I'm literally by myself 95% of my day. I was shy and introverted growing up, so I didn't need a lot of social interaction to be happy. But if somebody were to explain to me that I'd be by myself this much, I would have went to way more parties. First off, I work in customer service, so I sit in a cubicle by myself and get cursed out by a person that I've never seen about a software that I didn't invent. Then I come home from that and maybe spend 30 seconds with my wife because we have conflicting schedules, and then she has to go to sleep. Then you got my handful of friends who the majority of them have kids now, so we can't hang out, and they would kill to have my problem, but the fact remains they still got a tiny person in the room, and I have nobody. Then you factor in a global pandemic that has adjusted our society to a point where we can get everything that we need without leaving the house. I pressed my phone a couple times, and in 20 minutes, I got a burrito bowl sitting on my porch. I didn't even see the person that left it there. So anyway, you want to hang out?
I've never seen a commercial for Chinese food.
Okay, kind soul, prepare to get your shit rocked.
Mr. Chow, Mr. Chow, Chow Chow, and Mr. Chow's Chinese fast food.
Quick message for all the new followers I'm apparently getting. I'm sorry I hooked you with one video because the rest of my content is complete shit.
What have you guys done to customer service people that they are afraid to answer simple questions?
Did you guys just hear that? The tone and the volume that she used in order to ask that simple question? That's what they've done. There are a lot of people in this world that feel that they could speak to perfect strangers just like that because an item is out of stock or there's a 15-minute wait for a table. And the worst part is they can. because most of the time, a manager and a supervisor is not willing to back up that employee. And if an employee responds in kind, they lose their job.
Thank you. I believe firmly that women are always right. Well, I should rephrase that. Don't.
What's up, bro?
What's up?
Yeah, I just got back from the party, man.
No way.
Fucking crazy tonight, dude. Just
No
hot
way.
girls everywhere.
No way.
Yeah, and I was on fire tonight, bro. I got this girl's number.
No way.
Yeah, dude. She was so hot. I just, just work my stuff,
Stuff.
She was playing hard to get, though.
I'm sure.
She's like, go away.
Yeah, sounds about right.
She's like, when you give me your number, but, you know what I mean, I just kept pressing.
No, you're not one for consent,
I'm
no.
not going to take no for an answer, so.
You should.
Eventually, she gave me her number, and, dude, I'm stoked, bro. I know they say, like, you want to wait 2 days or whatever for
3
a
days.
call on, but, bro, let's call it.
We're sorry. You have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer if you feel you have reached.
What up, world? I just spent my Friday night drinking till 2 a.m., hunched over a laptop for 6 hours, obsessively editing songs that I will never be secure enough to release to the public. Let's fucking go!
Can you answer 20 questions in 60 seconds?
Yes.
If you think you can, duet this.
Okay.
Let's go.
Let's go.
What does IDK stand for?
I don't know.
Are you alive right now?
I don't know.
Do you prefer jogging or swimming? Can you point to your nose? Was Michael Jackson a good dancer?
Yes.
What's a word that starts with the letter L?
Lazy.
Are you lazy?
Whoa.
Who is one of your heroes?
Michael Jackson.
Am I speaking Spanish?
Si.
What do you like most about your face?
It holds my eyes.
Can you fly?
I am fly.
Can you drive a motorcycle?
No.
Where is the door of the room that you're in right now? Is God real? If I fall, will you catch me?
No.
How many days are there in a week?
You're weak.
What are the first 3 digits of your phone number?
408.
Are you confused?
No.
What's your favorite dessert?
The blood of my enemies.
Were these questions difficult?
Not at all.
What's one of the best F-bombs in movie history?
Alright, speed round. I'm gonna rattle off some names when I hit it, fucking buzz it, okay? You got me?
Yeah.
Alright, Brandy, Heather, Shannon, Brianna, Amber, Sabrina, Melody, Dakota, Sierra, Vandy, Crystal, Samantha, Autumn, Ruby, Taylor, Tara, Tammy, Lauren, Charlene, Chantel, Courtney, Misty, Jenny, Krista, Mindy, Noelle, Shelby, Trina, Reba, Cassandra, Nikki, Kelsey, Shauna, Jolene, Erling, Claudia, Savannah, Casey, Dolly, Kendra, Kylie, Chloe, Devin, Emily, fucking Becky!
Nope.
Wait, was it any one of those names with a Lynn after it?
Yes.
Oh, I got you, motherfucker. I got you. Okay. Brandy Lynn, Heather Lynn,
Tammy Lynn.
Fuck!
If you know, you know.
A woman that goes from one man to the next is called
a dinglehopper.
Out of all races, what would you say is your least favorite race?
I'm going to say it, and forgive me for my language, but you damn honkies and your goddamn NASCAR. Just upgrade to Indy 5000 or whatever, because there they turn both left and right.
What's your favorite surprisingly deep quote from an unlikely source?
Never let a man's deathbed be a futon. Dimitri Martin.
Tell us a story.
Okay, so I was on this date with this one girl, and super hot, but had a bad habit of choking on her own spit. But yeah, it's kind of like that. I don't really need a visual. It's a little self-explanatory if you just let me get to the punchline of the joke.
Go get help.
I can't go anywhere. I'm in the phone, so I'm going to keep going.
Tell me you're old without telling me you're old.
I just pulled a muscle in my back lying on the floor. Why was I lying on the floor? To relieve back pain.
Is lasagna a casserole or is it a pasta?
Maybe it's both. But kudos on that. You kind of got my gears turning, and I realized that a tostada is just an inconvenient taco. These are COVID thoughts. Spider webs. They can handle high-pressured hoses, giant gusts of wind, insane amounts of rain. So basically, like hurricanes, tsunamis. But I come through with a broom and I just fuck their whole shit up. I know science can give me the answer. I don't know if I want it. I know it's a dumb thought. I have tons of them. Also, fucking magnets. How do they work?
Warriors won! Warriors fucking won, baby! And my boy got his finals MVP. This is awesome! This is wicked awesome! I'm about to go to the park and screaming at the top of my fucking lungs. Also, Dunkin' Donuts coffee is garbage. Barbecue baked beans are trash. Your tea parties are mad wasteful. Bill Burr is...
Oh, Bill Burr's awesome. He's like a god. Not the god, a god. Especially amongst the ginger community. I have nothing bad to say about him.
But Matt Damon makes horrible financial decisions. Woo!
I believe that the name you're given at birth creates your personality.
Hi, I'm Kyle, and welcome back to Cooking with COVID, where we answer the question, did I get my sense of taste back, or am I just cooking like a white person? Stick around.
For the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers?
Convinced the world, though. I love how that's the gotcha moment of this whole interview. Convinced the world that he had scissor hands? Look, the toxicity of your guys' relationship is undeniable. You guys should not be together. But I did not need to be married to Johnny Depp for X amount of years to know how acting works. I also didn't feel lied to when I saw Edward Scissorhands, then watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape and found out he didn't have scissors for hands. I mean, why stop there? This lawyer's a monster. Do you know who she's representing? She's representing a man that killed half of London, then gave the corpses to a woman who then baked them into pies and sold them to the public. Throw this man under the jail, and for the love of God, somebody check in on Sacha Baron Cohen.
Children don't need the skill, but can you tell me when?
Listen, it's a good joke. It's a great joke even. But I need you to stop.
Cancel culture has been around since the beginning of time. Cain canceled Abel.
It's not cancel culture. It's a rock.
Hey, so I'm returning to work for the first time in about 2 weeks because of COVID, and I've come to the realization that there are some people you just can't talk politics with, and I'm one of those people. That's not meant to be an invitation for debate or that I'm so stubborn in my ideologies that I can't listen to anybody else. I just don't want to. I don't want to talk about them anymore. The guy that I was talking with, we share a lot of the same views, but it was just a 5-minute session of us agreeing with each other as we slowly go down this downward spiral, only to come to the realization that this world is shit. It's depressing. When I first started to realize that I don't want to talk about politics anymore, it was from this conversation about a year ago. This bombshell was dropped on me almost completely out of nowhere. You know the Supreme Court is kidnapping children and wearing their faces as rejuvenation masks to maintain their youth. Can you believe that? No, I can't. That sounds unbelievable. Mostly because, have you seen the Supreme Court? If that's their method of staying young, it doesn't seem to be working. And of course, he didn't present any sort of evidence to back up this thought that just fell out of his face. And it became my responsibility to somehow prove to him that he was wrong, when this thought never crossed my mind until he said it. Well, how do you know that they're not? How do you know that they are? Were you there? Did you somehow get to that human sacrifice and did nothing? Kind of sounds like you're more the advocate than I am. And do you want to know how this sprung up? He was originally talking about mask mandates in school. He said that children should not be wearing masks in school because that would make them targets for the boogeyman Supreme Court to kidnap them. Regardless on political views, whether they should wear them or not, fucking what? You mean to tell me that the Supreme Court is driving around elementary schools in a windowless van? They've found a child and then they go, wait, hold up. No, she's not wearing a mask. I'm a pedophile, not an animal. So I've come to this realization. I am going to treat my political views like my dick. I am not going to whip it out for your satisfaction just to prove that I have one. Especially when we're talking about children. Besides, when I'm on the spot and I have to present it, most of the time it's very messy. It's unpresentable. I'm nervous, so it's not the best presentation of it anyway. And it's very, very awkward and short.
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
Wine pairings. It's embedded in our society that you have to have red wine with meat and you have to have white wine with chicken or fish. It's all smoke and mirrors. They did a study a while back where they took a bunch of winos and asked them to spot the difference between two different red wines, or what they thought were two different red wines. One was actually a Chardonnay served at room temperature with red food coloring. Literally none of them could figure that out. So if these professional drinkers can't tell the difference between red and white wine without looking at it, then any sort of merit that red or white wine pairs differently with different foods is completely out the window. Also, I can tell the difference between Coke and Pepsi and they look exactly the same. Why don't we pair foods with non-alcoholic beverages? Because alcohol is a sedative that impairs your judgment. Restaurants know that a person with alcohol in their system is more likely than a person that doesn't have alcohol in their system to sit at that table and run up the tab on things they don't need, like dessert or more booze. It's all a way to get alcohol into your system while making you feel intellectual.
Non-theater kids be like, I listen to musicals. Name one musical besides Hamilton or Wicked.
Okay, theater kid to theater kid? Who hurt you? This is where Hamilton's currently being performed on Broadway, over 1,300 seats. This is Wicked, over 1,900 seats. Do you think all of those seats are filled with theater kids? I don't know about you, but I didn't get into this craft to just keep musicals to theater kids. I do this for the husband that got dragged to the show by his wife and accidentally had a good time. I do this for people who probably can't afford to see musical theater on a regular basis. People that may only be able to afford to see one professional show in their life, so they go see something recognizable and know they're going to get their money's worth. People who could give a fuck less about the obscure musicals in my Spotify playlist and just want to see explosions, chandeliers crashing, and the gross side of the Phantom's face. With everything that the pandemic did to live theater, we need as many people coming back as possible, and we're not going to get at gatekeeping and talking down to them. And in all sincerity, I genuinely hope that you book one of those shows that you listed off.
Link for tickets in bio.
I want to be where the people are. I want to see. I want to see them dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet! Flipping your fins. You don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing.
Hello, and welcome to your future. Your desire to reach your fullest potential has manifested this opportunity to become a team member here at Exploit You. At Exploit You, we only entrust our brand to tenacious self-starters. Those who thrive off their own initiative, independence, and have a strong understanding that true entrepreneurship is only endowed to those who are entrepreneurs for more than just financial gain. We're not going to pay you. At Exploit You, we offer uncapped commission potential, so the limit is the sky. Our top executives will give you the knowledge and the tools that you'll need to obtain the financial freedom that you've always dreamed of. The tool is the product, and you better learn how to sell it because we're not going to pay you. We promote a healthy work-life balance. You create your own schedule. We all know life is short and extremely precious, so why enslave yourself to the traditional 9-to-5 format? Why put yourself at the mercy of a corporation's time card, dictating when you can and when you can't earn money, when you can be your own boss? No need to clock in and out because we're not going to pay you. Sounds too good to be true, right? It is. Let me explain how it works. Our business experts have devised a revolutionary compensation structure. To put it simply, you decide when and how much product you're going to sell. Then Exploits You extracts a small portion of your earnings for the betterment of the team. Most of our team members have gone on to employ others using this same strategy. This is a pyramid scheme, and we're not going to pay you. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Our world is in dire need of reform. So we don't believe we're just selling a product. We're selling hope for a better tomorrow. So with your efforts in this corporation, your efforts in this corporation is not only benefiting yourself, but it's improving the lives of people all around the world. Our company offers to humanity what it needs for real change. Facial cream.
How the fuck y'all don't go to the gym?
Because I like money. And if I really wanted to work out, I'd do it for free. Not to get too pretentious, but I think the real question that you're asking is how did we work out before gyms? I'm not going to pay somebody $90 a month to walk up imaginary stairs when there's stairs everywhere. And if I really wanted to run for 30 minutes, I would run and actually go somewhere instead of in place. I get it. There's no like bench presses or inclines or dumbbells out in the wild. But, you know, if you really take a look at it, there's like heavy shit everywhere, including yourself. Just like push yourself up or pull yourself up. Something along those lines. Then there's the social aspect of that. But I would argue that you would get that same social interaction in a slow pitch softball league. I mean, granted, the beer would set me back a little bit, but I'm not training for the Olympics. Basically, what I'm saying is you could find a way to be active anywhere, and that iconic scene in Rocky would lose all effect if it was on a Stairmaster.
What's a bad music take that you have?
Nelly doesn't get the credit that he deserves in hip-hop, and he's one of my top 15 favorite MCs. First off, Country Grammar as an album front to back, banger, borderline classic, and one of the strongest debuts in hip-hop. And in that time frame, he had to compete with Ghetto Fabulous and Get Rich or Die Trying. Love or hate the state of hip-hop right now, that's your prerogative. But he is one of the first solo artists to popularize rapping with melody. Not just singing hooks, but rapping with melody. It was basically him and everybody in Bone Thugs and Harmony. Fucking trendsetter. Anybody saying that all rap sounded the same back in those days was blatantly ignoring Nelly. He is a true, individual, one-of-a-kind artist. Tell me your ears didn't perk up the first time you heard Down Down Baby. Andale, andale, mami, ia, hot in here, ride with me, Air Force One. It goes on and on. And this next one goes out to the younger generation of TikTok, those that weren't around during Nelly's prime. No matter what I do,
All feminine, all venom, and hot venom, and cinnamon, all venom, and cinnamon, sauce, cinnamon,
Okay, this is satire, or at least I pray to God that it's satire. But this is the kind of shit that made me give up on white rappers. And I say that shit because you don't hear this kind of nonsense from somebody outside of the stereotypical white rapper. That's it. It's the same kind of rapper that judges mumble rap because they don't understand what they're saying and there's no clarity in their lyrics. But without a lyrical breakdown, what the fuck are you saying?
What do you call this in English?
A way out.
A toaster.
Good men finish last.
On your mom's face. No.
I'm absolutely mind blown.
Dude, it's a joke. It's not really your nose. Listen, did you know Christopher Walken's iconic delivery partially stems from him memorizing all of his lines as one long sentence with no punctuation? Now, you do.
You fellas brought your gloves. I was thinking we could play a game of cash for the ball game. But I must warn you, I have quite the curveball.
Jenny, this is...
Oh, golly gee. Sorry, miss, I didn't see you there. My name's Theodore, but my friends call me Teddy. Pleasure to meet you. My apologies for not wearing a blazer. I would have worn one if I knew I was going to be in the presence of a lady. Well, gentlemen, miss, are you ready to head out?
Hell yeah. It's $22 beer night and I'm trying to get shit-faced. Let's get the fuck
Wait
out
a
of here.
minute, Mikey.
What?
Now, I know I swear like a sailor when I play cards with you boys, but we gotta remember, we're in presence of a lady. We shall not use foul language like that around her.
My apologies.
Well,
won't
if it
happen
happens again, I'm gonna have to box your ears.
You're gonna what?
Sorry, miss. I promise that will not happen again.
She swears all the time.
All right, gentlemen, let's head out. But remember, don't you fill up on Cracker Jacks at the ball
Fuck you,
game.
Theodore. All right, let's Jay-Z this shit. Oh, that is pink. That is like extra pink. It's gonna hurt. Let's try this. One thing about me was in high school, I was known as what's called a theater dork. Surprise, other than that, I was really into rap. Like, seriously, that was my whole personality. This was pre-Hamilton. So, needless to say, a rapping theater nerd, that's not the way. That rhymed. Anyways, I was doing a play
and it said play. There was this stage manager that was a grade ahead of me, and she was so cute. Like, I swear to God, I was completely obsessed. But she is not necessarily the type to like me, but she gave me the time of day, so that was all that I needed. We were sitting in the chairs while she was doing my makeup, and she was talking about things like music and art. She was really into System of a Down in Lincoln Park, and I knew about those bands, but I'm like, yeah, they were awesome. She was absolutely obsessed with this brand new band. Now, in hindsight, we all know they were trash. Not as trash as Smash Mouth, but you know where I'm heading. I saw that music video and I hated it then. But since she loved it, loved it. I swear to God, she loved it. She was obsessed with this band. She said they were the greatest of all time. So of course I'm like, yes. And next thing I know, I'm on Napster downloading their whole album. I listened to it for about 8 or 9 hours. So I had something to talk to about the next time I saw her. So now I am back in the chair. And before I could force that newfound knowledge of this amazing band that we both absolutely love, I overhear her talking to her friend about her boyfriend that goes to a different school. And I was absolutely crushed. Not because I was let on, because honestly, she did nothing of the sort. The reason why I was crushed was because for 24 hours I was a fan of Nickelback.
I'm sorry. Get some what, Mr. Bugle?
What the Before the pandemic, I was a barista at a mom and pop restaurant that specialized in breakfast burritos. On a busy Saturday morning, a woman physically shoved herself through a crowd of people to slam down a breakfast burrito on the counter in front of me in the same way that this woman did. She began to cuss out staff members and customers and proceeded to call the burrito dog food. The chef that made it takes his job very seriously and did not appreciate the sentiment of calling it dog food. Never seen a man his size cry like he did. She then demanded to be treated like a human being, which regretfully I snapped and said, you need to fucking act like one. The difference between my Karen and the McDonald's Karen is that my Karen did not get caught on camera and lived to Karen another day. The McDonald's Karen is crying unfair treatment because she got caught and lost her job because of her actions. The takeaway from moments like these should not be don't be an asshole because you might get caught and face repercussions. The takeaway should be don't be an asshole.
Key to building self-confidence
is to hide your face. So, let me get this straight. You're so confident in your message of self-confidence that you hot glued a bunch of Dentine ice to a ski mask and you pulled it over your face. It's like we've seen this before. Jesus Christ, get your own identity. You know what's funny about music? The A note has been around for centuries. The D note has been around for centuries. The D minor chord has been around for centuries. But some pasty-ass honky steps up and does this. And he wins an Oscar. Friggin' what?
B-Rabbit didn't beat Lotto in round 2. Like, he should have never battled Papa Doc.
Okay, I'm right there with you. B-Rabbit won, but B-Rabbit vs. Lotto is a prime example of why the old school freestyle battle rap era sucked. How the hell are you supposed to objectively decipher who's the better rapper if one rapper has the opportunity to rebuttal and the other one does not? B-Rabbit won because he won the coin toss. There, I said it. And how the hell are you supposed to leave a battle of that importance up to who wins the coin toss? Had B-Rabbit said tails, we'd be having a completely different conversation because that means that Lotto wins the coin toss and not B-Rabbit. Lotto could have decided to go second, which means that A, that Leave It to Beaver rebuttal would have never happened. B, there's no telling what kind of rebuttals that Lotto would have came up with the things that B Rabbit would have said. And B Rabbit wouldn't have had the opportunity to rebuttal himself. We need a 3-round rematch. Smack set it up.
It's cup of coffee in the big time, yeah. Cup of coffee in the big times. Cup of coffee, man, yeah. Man. Wow, man, freaked out.
If you're a millennial, blind react to this. I'm about to play you the most traumatizing song of our entire generation. Don't worry, it's not the Rickroll, and it's certainly not Baby Shark. It's something worse. Much, much worse. So, prepare yourself.
He doesn't know how to write a check. They don't know how to address an envelope.
We've all seen this woman floating around by now, but in case you haven't, she's cracking a joke that says that if Gen Z were to take over the world, it'd be really easy to get it back because they can't address an envelope or write in cursive. I used to work customer support for a cloud-based tax preparation software for tax preparers. One day, a boomer tax preparer calls in aggravated because he can't access the software. I asked if he was able to log into the website. He says no. I asked why. He says, I don't remember my username or password. I said, there's a button in the top right-hand corner to request a username and password recovery. He says, I don't see that. He says, it's right next to where you would put in your username and password. He says, I don't see that. I asked, do you see our website? He says, no. I asked, what do you see? He says, a picture of my 2 grandchildren. I asked, are you looking at your desktop, sir? He says, what's a desktop? I said, okay, I'm going to need you to access a web browser so we can get you to the website. He says, what's a browser? I said, it's the internet, sir. Do you click on a blue E or a blue compass to get to the internet? He says, I see a blue E. We're getting somewhere. 10 minutes later, I am able to help him get to our website and help him click on the forgot username and password buttons. There's a notification that says a recovery email has been sent to your email. He says, now what do I do? I said, you have to open up the email. He says, I can't open up my email. I asked why. He says, because my email is on my phone and I am talking to you on my phone, you fucking moron. Let's just ignore the fact that this man had the unmitigated gall to call me a fucking moron and he didn't know what a web browser was and what it was used for. But this man is entrusted to do people's taxes. I asked if he could put me on speaker so then we could open up his email from his phone. He refused. I asked him to access his email from the browser that he is currently staring at. He says, how do I do that? I asked, what's your email, sir? He said, at gmail.com. I said, you need to go to gmail.com. He goes to gmail.com. He asked, what does he do now? I said, put in your username and password, sir. He says, I don't know that. I spent an hour of my time helping this man recover his Gmail account so then he can go into his Gmail and recover his tax preparation software account. And in the end, he said, your tax software is not very user-friendly.
I am a woman, and my pronouns are you, as...
S-A. That's funny. Can I ask you something? You ever watch Wheel of Fortune? You ever see anybody buy a pronoun on that show? No. Because that would be stupid. See, what I heard is 2 vowels and a consonant. But I'm sure you knew that. It's almost like you're being willfully ignorant to appease an intolerant fan base that doesn't know any better. Interesting. It's the same fan base that is so avid about there not being pronouns in the Bible when, if thou would just read thine Bible, they'd realize that's not the case. Why does it seem like the generation that was growing up when Schoolhouse Rock first aired is so bad at this? See, pronouns aren't some leftist propaganda recently invented to confuse you into saying something that might get you fired. It's basic speech. It's not divisive. It's English. See, a pronoun is merely a substitute for a noun, and it makes speech a lot easier. You, me, he, she, they, it. Here's an example of a pronoun at work. I could say, Harris Faulkner is a willingly ignorant dog whistler. Or I could say she is a willingly ignorant dog whistler.
Just this with your favorite hip-hop moment of all time.
I think mine would have to be when Dre gave that little nod to Tupac by playing I Am Mad at You at the Super Bowl halftime show. Because, like, the context of it is, it's beautiful, man. Like, you know, here it is, like, hip-hop's getting its long overdue showcase on the biggest stage in the world. And, you know, Dre takes the time to remind us what, like, we already know, which was, you know, if he was, you know, still alive, then he'd be right up there on that stage. To this day. It's crazy. And I don't know, if you're spiritual, he could have been up there.
Come on, I'm sorry. It's time to go.
No, I'm a star! Please, I'm a star!
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
What's up, you guys? I have arrived. I am finally in New York, just outside of like Little Italy, I believe it is. I got my own little space over here. I'm about to go iron my costume real quick, get camera ready, and then bounce is what I meant to say before I was rudely interrupted by my own camera. Yeah, I'm stoked about it. I get to play 5-0. Never thought I'd get to that age where I get to play a cop, but look at that. Here I am. So, cop. I'm playing a cop. I'm not playing a 50-year-old man. Since I overthink things and all I could think about is exactly what I posted online, I thought that that gave the implication that I think I look 50. No, I'm playing a cop. Still interrupting me, I swear. Basically, I'm chiming in, letting you guys know that I'm here. And at some point tonight, I'm going to go live just to kind of hang out and just let you know what's going on in my life. See you then. Hey, so I got a confession to make. I thought it'd be fun to walk around New York in my Timberlands. And being amongst real New Yorkers, I realized how un-Timberland my Timberlands actually are. First of all, look at the size and unpracticality of these things. They're like if Timberlands made flats. These aren't Timberlands, they're Magoos. I've heard of work boots, heard of hiking boots, but never running boots. Keep the roast going.
Ground floor.
It talks.
You've always talked about it. I know. I just wanted to give you.
In the bro code, there are 4 tiers of friendship. You start off as a roommate, then you work to acquaintance, then to friend, and then to bro. But in this special circumstance, due to the gift that he has given to his roommate, I hereby elect him to the top tier as a honorary bro. All in favor, say hear, hear. Hear, hear.
What's a hill that you're willing to die on 1,000% of the time?
I should not have to specify that I want a Whopper with cheese. Like, really think about it. What fast food chain can you think of off the top of your head that makes you take this second step? You go to McDonald's, you want a Big Mac, you order a Big Mac. You don't order a Big Mac with cheese. It just shows up unannounced. It's expected. I can't tell you how many times I left the Burger King drive-thru defeated because I ordered a Whopper. And somebody answer this for me, please. What sociopath is ordering a burger with no cheese on it? And I understand dietary restrictions or ordering a specific kind of cheese, but Burger King. What 1% of the population are you catering to? If you want a Whopper with no cheese on it, you have to say you want a Whopper with no cheese. It shouldn't be the other way around. All I'm saying. Yeah, whatever. They already got my money.
So for those that don't know, SAG actors announced that they will be joining the Writers Guild in strike. And I've noticed the narrative being painted on the internet through comments and videos. And I just wanted to give you my perspective on this whole situation. UPS employees are threatening to strike for higher wages. And I hope they get it. They are very, very essential to how our country functions. And they deserve it. I just hope that people come to the same defense for actors and writers. I can't tell you how disheartened I am when people would say things like, get back to work, I need my packages. In the same way that right now they're telling actors and writers to get back to work, I need to be entertained. And I think if you're not actively pursuing writer or actor as a career choice, there's a disconnect. I think that from a perception of somebody that doesn't want to be in that field, the desire for somebody to want to be in that field seems like it's based in ego stroking and a need for attention, when it's honestly not the case. But I get it. The entertainment industry is a very romanticized industry. You see these people being paid millions and millions of dollars to be projected on these giant screens, and then they go off to award shows and they're just clamored with attention and praise. So it doesn't seem real. It's easier to relate to the UPS worker that is striking for higher wages because it seems more blue collar. And you probably don't want to hear from somebody like Matt Damon that we need more money. So that's why I'm here. I'm an actor. That is what I've been put on this earth to do. And I've worked very hard to be a member of the same Screen Actors Guild that has joined this fight. And I don't think you recognize me. You may think you do, but I'm not Mitchell. Do you know how many times I've been told to get a real job? In order to get to the level where I'm at, which in perspective to Matt Damon, who everybody seems to be attacking and calling elitist and greedy for demanding more money, I had to work very, very hard at other real jobs. I bussed tables. I've waited tables. I've bartended. I've Ubered. I have DoorDashed. I drove Lyft. I have been laid off of several desk jobs during this recession. At one point, my job was to sweep up dog crap for minimum wage. And this was all in the hope of being financially secure enough one day to rely on acting being my sole income. I have held many jobs. Acting is my career. And in the meantime, I have the Actors Guild to protect me. And I have found success. I have. It's the only way that I was able to get into this Screen Actors Guild, which was working my butt off and honing my craft to be in the right position, to be a professional actor. And Matt Damon is not the only one that is being affected by not working. No actors and no writers means no auditions, which means no job and no advancement in my career during these times. I want this done as quickly and as painlessly as you do. But this has to be done. One of the things that we're fighting for is keeping humanity in our craft. The people at the top that actually run these streaming platforms are basically trying to downsize everything as much as possible to make a profit. And part of that is having AI as script writers. Now, AI has shown us that it can put words on a page, but there is a huge difference between words on a page and a story from a life actually lived. And we've all been having fun with AI from time to time. I just recently watched a video of Freddie Mercury singing My Heart Will Go On. But here's the thing. That was a voice filter. If you listen closely, that is Celine Dion's performance. That's what gives it life. And that's what makes you feel. Also, anybody wake up Freddie Mercury and ask if that was okay? Another thing that's going on, it's not just affecting the actors at the top. It's also affecting the actors like myself at the bottom. The background actors that are being threatened by having their likeness essentially copy and pasted on projects that they never agreed to
and only getting paid for one day's work. If you don't understand the importance of likeness, look at Crispin Glover's lawsuit against Back to the Future. But actors are completely unrelatable, right? Our field is the only one that's being threatened by AI. Our field is the only one where the people at the top get rich off of the backs of the people below them and then turn around and tell them there's no money. Actor and writer are the only group of people that don't have to work multiple jobs to make ends meet. Whether you like to admit it or not, actors and writers are essential workers. We got you through the pandemic. Kept you thoroughly entertained whether you were watching new material or reruns. But we also write and voice over the video games that encapsulate you and block out the world for hours and days at a time. We also breathe life into the animated characters that your 5-year-old son or daughter loves so much. We give you quotes and moments to inspire you in your real life and inside jokes between you and friends. We are important. I want to open up to you a little bit from my personal life. My father was a fireman. He worked his way up to a battalion chief, but he spent the majority of his adult life running in and out of burning buildings. He's a hero. He couldn't tell Backdraft. What he could do is tell his perspective, his fears of not coming home to me or my sister or his wife. He could tell the daily grind of what it was to be in that profession. He could tell about the responsibilities that he held to his team and those people in those burning buildings, to a writer, an actor that could portray it in a creative light that does it justice. Now, I'm not holding writers and actors up to the level of heroism that I would a fireman. But my dad loved Backdraft. We gave him that gift. What we're doing is important for a lot of people, including myself. And when you see what's going on, and you see Matt Damon walking out on his movie premiere, I hope you see what I'm seeing and not what I think you're seeing. What I think you're seeing is an elitist, overpaid actor demanding more money. And the rich keep getting richer for a profession that is clearly ego-driven and not important to this country. What I see is an ally with a recognizable face to deliver the message from the ground up, with a platform and a voice much bigger and holds a lot more weight than mine. And I hope that you're on our side. And maybe you see me too.
If you're with somebody right now, what was your actual first date food?
Well, he makes money doing it.
So what was our first date food?
Our first date?
Yeah, our first date food. Was it wings?
Our first date food?
Yeah, what did we eat our first date?
Well, what do you consider a first date?
I think it's the one that,
When we went out for wings?
yeah, when we went out to Wings, and then like we kind of defined it as a date later. What was the other one?
We went to see the campaign, and then I know that and I only remember this because I saw one of my friends Tynan that I hadn't seen since high school. We went to Chili's after.
You said his name was Titan?
Her name was Tynan.
Tynan. I have no idea who that is. Chili's or an Applebee's?
Yeah, because we went after the movie.
All right.
And I think before the movie, we got a little bit of sushi. And then
That's right.
I think after the movie, we went to Chili's to get.
That was all in Canoga Park, right?
Yeah, to get some more food because we were starving.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like
And then
wings it was, I don't know, I guess technically it would be sushi and then Chili's, Applebee's with an honorable mention of wings.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
I don't care if Hollywood is striking right now. I'm not union. I'm not part of the union. I'm never going to be.
Okay, clarifying some of this stuff. Union actors are not calling non-union actors scabs because of their union status. Union or non-union, if you cross the picket line, you're a scab. It's a term that has been used for as long as there's been unions. Here's the golden rule right now. Don't work, union or non-union. Just don't do it. Do not be this guy and shoot yourself in the foot and have that bullet ricochet off your foot and hit you in the face. And definitely do not justify your non-union status by implying that you're taking some moral or artistic high road. He was saying that he doesn't want to be union because he doesn't want to be a part of big Hollywood. But to quote Chris Brown, I don't see how you can hate from outside of the club. You can't even get in. Okay, I'm a boomer at heart, so this is take 3 or 4. That one's easy, mostly because I don't know the other one. Yeah, I got to go company. This one got a little difficult. I got to go that one. Easy. What? I haven't seen 6, but I've heard good things about it, and I'm just anti-Rodgers and Hammerstein. So, no idea which one that is, so by default. That one's easy for me. This one's the hard one. Come on now. Yeah. I could already tell which one's it's going to come down to. I kind of knew the whole time. It really just depended.
Men with no hose. Where are you?
Well, right now I reckon I'll be heading south down the Heartland oil fields. I'm married, so my days of having hoes is long gone, I'm afraid. Caught myself the flu, or what some are concerned that I got the coronavirus, or I don't know, something about a bear. So I decided to take upon myself to play myself a little Red Dead Redemption 2. All in POV, so I feel like I've been transported to a place where men were men and everybody had a shotgun on them at all times. Even hooked up some lights so then I feel a little bit more encapsulated in the aura of this great game. I need a laugh is what I'm saying.
What are 2 clips that give off the same energy?
Think you are, but you ain't still, you made a mistake. Hit a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, look, give me a name, and I'm here to say I love the rap in the old school, and I go to rap,
Alright guys, so here in front of you is somebody who has a million things to do, yet they're choosing to ignore it and watch TikTok videos. Feel free to take some photos. Do not touch, please. You can't touch, please.
But as I'm scrolling through my phone, I'm finding the drunk text that I sent. And I learned that my drunk texts at 30 are way different from when they were 20. I text my friend Tim at 2 a.m. and I quote, "I don't give a fuck what you say. We are going on a couples retreat to Monterey Bay so I could pet the sea otters." All caps, I have spoken. But I got a text message from Tim yesterday. He said, "Hey dude, you want to meet me at my house on Tuesday at around 7:30? That's an intervention, right?" I should go. Like, I really should get a hold of my drinking, just mostly because I don't want to wake up one day and see on TMZ my face and have it say, "Mitchell from Modern Family found passed out in a garbage can." If I don't get my shit together, I could do some severe damage to somebody else's reputation.
Call me crazy if you want, but I've never liked store-bought pets.
Yeah, that's crazy. When I was 19, I got into a friends with benefits relationship with a girl who was scared to death to leave her boyfriend because he was massive and angry and owned a lot of guns. And at the time, I was just a raging ball of uncontrollable hormones with no self-respect. So I figured it's this or celibacy. Am I right? Can't have that. So we'll just be like really careful about it. And everything was working out fine for about a month until we both started to catch feelings for one another. So I said, "Hey, you think now's a good time to talk about you potentially leaving this boyfriend that scares you so much?" She says, nah, now's not a good time. And I went, yeah, you know what? We are kind of in his bed. That's a cute picture of you two, by the way. Is it Santa Cruz? So another couple weeks go by and we're in the back seat of my car. And she insinuates that since we didn't come prepared, that I should deep sea dive with no wetsuit. And I said, nope, there's the line right there. I am not comfortable with doing that, not just with you, but with anybody at this point, but especially since you are doing what we do with another man. And I could ignore that for a while because, you know, I was getting mine, you were getting yours, but I'm not about to do that. And she called me a scary ass bitch. And we got into a big argument because she insinuated that I thought that she was dirty. And I could see now why she would think that in hindsight. But either way, we both figured, you know, it's time to go our separate ways. And that was good because it's good for both of us, really. 2 weeks go by, and my mom comes into my room while I'm playing video games with a piece of paper. And she goes, honey, could you explain this? I mean, I know what it is because it was in our mailbox with no envelope. So I read it. But do you think you could explain this? I look at the paper. It's from Planned Parenthood. Yeah, she sent me the results of some tests, and she is completely clean, all negative. I know this because she highlighted negative over and over and over again. And in a bright, bold red Sharpie, it said, see, go F yourself. I mean, it's not store-bought pesto, but that's crazy, right?
What's a scam that's become so normalized that we don't even realize it's a scam anymore?
Barbers. Just barbers in general. I've been going to the same barber for the past decade, and I love him to death. But I brought in multiple pictures of multiple hairstyles, of multiple celebrities, and I have yet to look like Justin Timberlake. I'm almost positive that he looks at all of those pictures and says, oh yeah, totally, that'll work, and then just gives me the same haircut. Like he may change some things like on the sides or on the top or whatever it is, but I think he just kind of looks at what's going to work and then just shapes it around it and just completely ignores me because I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm sure that either myself or somebody else on the internet can go more in depth on how just basic hair upkeep is holding down specific people in our society in the workplace, let alone specific hairstyles. But I really just want to make this about me.
Men don't like women who make money or who are successful.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong. Trademark Scrubs, you're wrong. I'm going to take this tiny little thought and I'm just going to set this down and let you guys do with it as you will. Hi, my name is Kyle. I work 40 hours a week at a desk. I also have a side hustle as being an acting coach, SAG and equity actor, and stand-up comic. Both are semi-lucrative businesses right now, especially with all the strikes going on. But the only reason why I'm allowed to pursue those things in this economy is because I am married to a boss-ass bitch. This woman's a supervisor at a company, owner of her own company, teacher at private schools for music and voice. And because of this, she makes more money than I do. I know, it's like man card, completely revoked, right? Get back in the kitchen. Here's the thing. She goes on to say that men, quote unquote, don't like women that make money and are successful because they are intimidated by them. You ever hear the phrase, scared money don't make none? If you're intimidated by another person's paycheck, whether it's your spouse or not, you're going to be broke forever. If your ego is so fragile that you're going to miss out on a good thing because you don't make as much as a woman, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard. If you are that hypothetical man that she is referring to, stop it. Get some help. Hi, sweetie.
Hi.
There she is.
Who's that? Like, for some context, I used to do meth and, like, purposely get hit by cars.
Well, you look great. Like, in all seriousness, congratulations on your complete 180. Let's not get that twisted. But It's moments like these where I realize that I did not take enough risks in high school, because my teenage self is flying high on mostly Ritalin and a shit ton of Accutane. And that's what gives you this dumpster fire you see here today. Meanwhile, this chick is taking meth and Toyota Corollas to the face and has perfect teeth? Like, seriously, what was it laced with? Vitamin E? How are you doing that with your face? My high school days consisted of going to school, coming home, maybe hitting the J from time to time, and playing video games. This chick is doing a Walter White highball and playing Frogger the real game. And I just dated myself. I'm going to go walk into traffic.
What is a song that you hate, but everybody else seems to love?
It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion. People like shooting TikToks to this song because Celine Dion has an amazing voice and it's hella dramatic, but that's only for like that tiny little section that you guys keep using. The song in its entirety is just a bunch of random nonsense that goes on for 8 minutes but feels like 30. The song has like 3 intros. There's an intro to the intro, which is supposed to be the intro to the first verse. And it's just a bunch of random nonsense. Speaking of random nonsense, I get that they're all in the same key, but there's something going on in that song that I could only describe as everybody that plays an instrument is just out for themselves at all times. And if you listen to it, maybe you'll understand. Also, why is Ross Geller just sitting there with a Casio keyboard just plunking out random sound effects that make no sense? And why are there sleigh bells? And those little, like, finger things. It's like an elf flamenco dancer just walking around the studio. Love Celine Dion, hate the song.
Me every day since learning there's a new Andre 3000.
The fiddler on the is that Mr. Bentley Farnsworth? Indeed it is, sir. Good day, good sir. How do you do? Look fine, fantastically well. I am certainly not fine by far, but you could say I'm close to spectacular. Close to spectacular? How so? Open your eyes. Spectacular's right in front of you. Whatever you say. You're spectacular. Oh, I'm fantastically well. Come on, man, make up your mind. A minute ago you said you were fine. No, I said I'm close to spectacular, but I am meeting fine in a minute. Close to spectacular? Dude said you were fantastically well. Exactly. Exactly. Which one are you? Close to spectacular or fantastically well? I am certainly and without a doubt fantastically well and was close to spectacular, but I must say, good sir, you just pissed spectacular off and don't even mention exactly. But here comes fine right now. Oh, Lord, she is fine. Behold, a lady.
Into stand-up, I've always respected the craft. I've always done theater. Like I did. I've done comedic roles, and I'm like, I know I can be funny, but the thought of actually getting up on stage and expressing my own thoughts and writing it down and like making that entertaining, it just scared the shit out of me. So I was always kind of like hesitant about it.
I feel that.
Like, and it wasn't until probably like a couple years ago where I just kept looking at it and I'm like, it just looks fun as fuck. I gotta like get up there and at least see if I can do it and see if I can get away with it.
Who do you consider a hero in comedy?
One of the biggest heroes that I had just in comedy in general was Matthew Perry. And like that dude, like he shaped my humor and just like my personality, all the sarcasm, like the voice inflections that kind of creeps up into like my set a little bit too. Like that dude, like when we lost him about a week and a half ago, that hit me hard. Eddie Murphy was a big one. Robin Williams is a big one. I consider John Leguizamo a big hero in that regard because he does a lot of comedic one-man shows. He's just a freak of nature in that sense. When people keep saying like he changed the game for the worse, you kind of... Well, like, you just be mindful of your kids. You know, like, if they think that they're Steph Curry and they're not, you just smack them in the back of the head and say, drive the lane.
Yeah.
Like, no, not everybody's going to do this 50, 60% of the time. And one of my favorite quotes that he ever said, like, I can't remember what podcast he was on. He looked dead in the camera and he said, I didn't tell you to take that shot. Wow, San Jose, California has its own professional sports team. It's going to win a championship any day now. Oh, wait, they're playing in San Francisco? Oh, not even San Francisco, it's Daly City? Oh my God, we're actually doing pretty good in the one sport in the United States that nobody cares about. Wait, we're still going? Oh my God, we made it to the Stanley Cup Finals and got swept by Bing Crosby, and we're still doing awful. We'll get there one day. All right, I'm going to put this down here and just walk away. Thanksgiving food is terrible, and it doesn't matter who cooks it. Doesn't matter your racial background, none of that stuff.
Because I know what you're thinking. White boy has no idea how spices work. No. I just can't cook. But that being said, I know how good food tastes. Thanksgiving food as a whole is just awful. Turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce. There's nothing you could do to make that good. Have a good day.
You think it's time to fucking rock and fucking roll out of control? Well, then you know you've got to rock the block. You fucking suck my fucking cock. Cause when you rule, you fucking school all other fools out of their jewels. Cause if you think it's time to fucking rock.
Okay, so I'm trying really hard not to get on soapboxes anymore, especially online, just because it's pretty pointless. But I felt compelled by this one because it's AI. Pandora's box is open, it's here, and it's going to start getting more and more difficult to decipher what's reality because it's just only going to get better. But this is clearly AI.
Trigger warnings used to be on TV for seizures, and now they're everywhere to protect millennials' feelings. He, she, his, him, hers, them, they, screw up pronouns. Cause everyone's a retard these days. Here preaching at the protest that hatred's the problem, but hating straight men, white folks, and Christians is common. Coca-Cola telling people they should be less white. They preach intolerance, but if you disagree, they fight. There's a race war here, elections based on fear. Black lives only matter once every 4 years. Soldiers died for this country, and every one of us benefits. Give welfare to the bums and forget about the veterans. Black folks and white folks divided by the news, but we are all the same. We are red, white, and blue.
All right, so narrative aside, this is clearly not Eminem. And it's really easy to figure that out because Eminem has not rapped this simple in decades. Like, love or hate the modern day Eminem with the lyrical, spiritual, miracle, rhyme every syllable, quintuple entendre Eminem, that's who he is now. The man locks himself in a man cave and reads the dictionary for fun and meticulously rhymes. Extremely intricate, maybe even too intricate. So there is no way in hell that he is putting out something this one-dimensional and simple. But the reason why I'm hopping online and talking like this is not for the song itself. It's for the comment section. You hear this song and then you go to the comment section and see some gems in there like, this song is a movement. Marshall Mathers, 2024. From the same group of people that want to keep politics out of entertainment and sports. So the man drops a freestyle on the BET Hip Hop Awards, which I'm sure you guys were totally watching in real time, that disses Donald Trump and ends with him flipping off Donald Trump and everybody that supports him. And y'all just lose your minds. Just can't imagine listening to an artist that has a difference in political opinion. But then you hear your thoughts and opinions being funneled through an AI voice changer, and all of a sudden you guys are ready to vote for a computer? You think that every piece of art that is unrelatable to you or doesn't go with your narrative has some sort of agenda, but you're willing to start a movement for MC Reese's Pieces? And here's the thing, I'm not even faulting you guys for not being able to separate the politics from the artist. I used to be a huge Kanye West fan, but everything that he's said and done in the past couple of years make it impossible for me to listen to any of his new stuff. The big difference is I'm not writing a poem about my progressive views and channeling it through a Kanye West filter so I can listen to him again. Like, it's just very telling that you would much rather hear your thoughts and feelings channeled through an AI filter and lie to yourself saying that it's him. You guys already have a right-wing Eminem. Just go back to Tom McDonald and leave the goat alone. Okay, it's videos like this that remind me of a very valid point that somebody else made. A friend brought this to my attention. In every medium of entertainment, be it stand-up, music, sketch comedy, Broadway, they all have the ability to showcase themselves and capitalize on apps like TikTok and Instagram. Everybody but dramatic actors. Because nobody's going on social media to check for somebody's reel. So at this point right now, stuff like this is all we have. I'm not saying this is it. I'm just saying we got to figure it out and change whatever that was.
My money like Liz, my pockets are fat. Homie, I'm epic, don't be a wap. Dog, it's a yarmulke, homie, no cap.
Last week, I preached the dangers of AI and how it will eventually get so good that we will not be able to distinguish what is reality and what is fabricated. Sometimes you just wish it was AI. We got Ben Shapiro on a rap song.
And you know that that audio engineer just cashed out with all the overtime that he was paid because he had to record Ben Shapiro recite a rap sentence for sentence. Let's look at the stats. I got the Rex. Okay, how'd that sound? We'll take it again from the top. Ben Shapiro in the studio, like, where's my snare? I literally can't find it. Like, is it, like, what do I do? The man said, don't be a WAP. I mean, that's solid life advice, but you couldn't say it on TV. I mean, when you recited the words to WAP, you thought it was a medical condition. Bring a bucket and a mop. I mean, that just sounds like an excessive amount of discharge. It's called a metaphor, Ben. My wife is a doctor, and as she always says, a dry P word is a happy P word. A guy that sounds like every black stand-up comic's impression of a white person should not be allowed to say no cap. Like, I talk a lot of crap about AI, but God, like, it would be so much better if we were to just at least throw it through like a John Mulaney filter or something. Like, give some kind of a cadence, dude. You know, we've been having a lot of fun today. Well, me not so much. But honestly, if you feel like this was a good idea, stop it. Get some help.
Say the weird thing.
Who Framed Roger Rabbit gives young, impressionable girls unrealistic expectations of married life with a rabbit. White people in their gated communities, am I right? It's very Heaven's Gate what you're talking about. There wouldn't be Kool-Aid involved. Never trust white people with Kool-Aid. I think my new favorite part of this whole Kendrick and Drake exchange is that Drake responded to some pretty damning accusations like a band geek. Kendrick has been calling him a pedo for 48 hours. There are literally people dancing in the streets to these accusations, and Drake responds with A minor. Those disses B flat because D sharp. Like, what you know about key signatures, Kendrick? You're on the clock. Look at all these grown adults obsessing over a pointless rap beef. People are allowed to like things. God forbid I enjoy myself. The world's about to explode any minute from climate change or a nuclear war. Can I dissect a Pulitzer Prize winner's triple entendre without being judged for it? Swear to God, not everything has to solve world hunger or bring world peace in this bleak-ass world to have some importance to it. Swear, it's usually the same guy that pumps his head full of lies with podcasts tell him that if he makes his bed one day he'll be Jeffrey Bezos. Take some advice from that business owner and mind your own. J. Cole is the mole. J. Cole knowingly knew he was setting Drake up. He didn't apologize to Kendrick because he was afraid of the repercussions. They were in communication the whole time to get Drake to jump out the window, and he did. Think about how this whole thing started. It started with a compliment that Drake didn't even say. J. Cole was the one that got on the track and said, who's the hardest MC? Is it K-Dot, is it Aubrey, or me? In an homage to how Jay-Z was giving props to Nas and Big back in the 90s with who's the best MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas. That was respectful. Kendrick took it as disrespect, or quote-unquote took it as disrespect. But he knew it was coming. It was there for a reason. They were in communications the entire time. Drake was never going to go after Kendrick by himself. Not initially. And Kendrick knew that. If Drake had it in him, he would have done it when the Control verse came out. Drake needed somebody to go to war with. And he thought he had it with J. Cole. Because then what happens? Like that comes out. And the declaration of war is F the big three, it's just big me. Which is a diss to Drake, but is also a diss to J. Cole in the eyes of the public. J. Cole then drops an album called Might Delete Later, which is one of those little breadcrumb things that got me on this weird tinfoil hat conspiracy theory that I don't even know if I believe or not. I'm just saying words, and they're coming out articulate and could probably be true in my sick, weird little mind. J. Cole drops the diss towards Kendrick, and it has the public thinking, all right, J. Cole responded, Drake has to respond now. He has to. J. Cole then, a couple days later, apologizes to Kendrick and gives him his flowers and gets out of the line of fire. But we're still waiting on Drake. He didn't apologize for Drake. His apology doesn't eliminate the diss that Kendrick gave to Drake. Drake has to respond. Drake responds, and the rest is history. But why did all this need to happen, and why did it need to happen now? We have been seeing things from Aubrey for a while that some might consider a little sketch. Kendrick has been saying for a while that he has songs that will completely destroy Drake's career, obliterate it, take the entire perception that is Aubrey Graham and just disintegrate it. Drake starts moving shaky amongst his peers. Metro Boomin, Future, Rick Ross, starts getting butt injections. He has fake abs. He's begging for it. And it's not a total publicity stunt when I say this, but Kendrick has an album in the chamber. Why not get the public talking about him with some beef? If Kendrick were to come right out and just start dropping these songs with these allegations, he could be written off so easy as jealous or a crazy person. He needed Drake to strike too. Even after Drake first jumped in the ring, he didn't come out and say it. He hinted at it. He hinted at it very well. Drake even hinted at it when he got on that Tupac AI voice and said, "I heard he likes young girls on the Joe Budden podcast." Nobody asked for that. Drake knew that Kendrick knew. But Kendrick didn't outright say all of those PDF file accusations that he did on Meet the Grams, which, by the way, I work at a desk in an office, and I can't look at PDF files the same ever again after this weekend. But he keeps stringing Drake along. Euphoria hints at it. 616 also insists that there's a mole and keeps saying, Aubrey, come out to play. Now the whole world is fully invested in this ongoing beef. This isn't just a back and forth one time. These are multiple songs at this point. And then, when all the world has their attention on what is going on, he drops Meet the Grams. In the court of public opinion, he did it. The perception of Drake being a PDF file is so enriched with things that we have seen with our own eyes and out of Kendrick's mouth, backed by a lot of facts, that it's almost unshakable until he sees his day in court. Will that happen? Who knows? But the damage is done with his perception. All these different companies are now doing damage control, not to just clean up his image, but to prevent Kendrick from doing any more damage. So, long story even longer, Kendrick knew, J. Cole knew, he was all for this. J. Cole did not dodge a bullet. He put Drake in front of the gun he needed to be in front of. See that? This guy gets it. J. Cole knew he was setting up Drake so much, he knowingly knew it. He knew so much that he knew it. And he knows that. That's a whole different level of depth of being in the know. Like, did you ever know something, but you're like, I don't really know if I know it? J. Cole didn't have that problem. Not in this scenario, anyway. He knew so much that he knew it. Knowingly. But then you get Drake, who has a song called Know Yourself, and you're just like, I don't know what to believe anymore. Okay, so I know you don't know about the knowingly knew. Because had you known, you know from my last video, I said knowingly knew as opposed to just knew. Now, had I known I said knowingly knew, I would have, went back and fixed it. But, just, I don't know. But just so you know, all I'm doing now is just saying variations of know, knowing, knew, unknown. You know what I mean? It's a gag, It's a joke. It's cool that you're not in the know. I don't know. Let me know if this helps.
What are two clips that give off the same energy?
Freddie, That poor devil who couldn't get a job as an errand boy, even if he had the guts to try for it.
Drake? The that got bodied by Pusha T?
When you just gotta have a drink, you just gotta have a drink, see?
See that? I knew he was an alcoholic. Very second I saw him, I knew he was a raging alcoholic. They all were. Go rewatch The Little Rascals, tell me I'm wrong. Between the dialogue and the slurred speech, I'm warming up my vocalizer. I'm about to win Darla back through song. When he sings, he makes me melt like a popsicle on the 4th of the line. I mean, you take the He-Man Woman Haters Club, throw it in a bar, I can't spot a difference. Go rewatch the Little Rascals movie from 1994. Tell me that they're not absolutely smashed. Do it. What up, everybody? I'm here to pull back the curtain a little bit before I go into my self-tape auditions. If you see right here, I'm looking a little dapper down. I'm auditioning for an FBI agent. But best part about it is they're only looking from like the chest up, so I get to do this. Yeah. Will you look at that? It's bleach stains and all. Don't trust Big Hollywood. They're lying to you. Looks like Gen Z's trying to cancel Eminem. No, they're not. No, they're not. Maybe it's just my algorithm, but I have yet to see a video on this app, Instagram, Facebook, any of those, with someone from Gen Z calling to arms to cancel Eminem. What I have been seeing is a lot of millennials writing parodies to the Forgot About Dre beat in defense for a rapper that really doesn't need your help. I have been a stan since the Slim Shady LP, which means I was a stan before Stan. I have watched his career since then, and I could identify objectively his classic works and his duds, and not get defensive if people say that they like it or not. I will say this. Yes, in his prime, he was very much the guy that was just like, oh, you shouldn't say that. You can't say that. Oh, he's going to get in trouble for it. Because yes, there were people picketing outside of his record company's office because of the things that he was saying. One thing that people forget is the culture that was surround Eminem. It wasn't just Eminem. It was South Park doing the nastiest, filthiest stuff that they possibly could have been doing. They've matured as well. There was Beavis and Butthead. There was Jerry Springer. There was the WWF Attitude Era. Our culture ate all of that up. We loved that. And it's what we love about old Eminem. Gen Z doesn't necessarily have that atmosphere or that environment as of now. And that's cool. They may never understand what we went through. But just because they don't doesn't mean that they're actively trying to cancel it. And if they are, please tag me in one of these videos. Please, just like, I want to see somebody from Gen Z calling to arms and saying, Eminem, you can't say that. And then call on the rest of a generation that completely missed the boat of Eminem to telling him that he can't do that anymore. Because it seems like he has been, especially recently. Like, I swear, I haven't seen not one Gen Z person hop on any of these apps and say Eminem needs to stop because he said a line about shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. Like, it's not just millennials, but there are people out there that are just so avid to fight this invisible boogeyman that is known as cancel culture that you're willing to pick fights over it. Like, are you bored? I'm asking. Help me out. Yo, the next generation is not ready for Slim Shady, yo. He said, he'd probably say that everything is gay, like happy. Sure did. No, he said everything is gay. And you know Gen Z was sitting there like, you can't say that. That's homophobic. Looking all offended and stupid. But then Eminem was like, psych, I meant gay, like happy. Because it's a play on words. No, I understand wordplay. It's just a gay, happy, double meaning. It's just kind of dated and lazy. No, but you see, gay can mean gay, but gay can also mean something. Did you ever hop about the bed, turn your swag on, looked in the mirror and say, I feel pretty and witty and gay? You know, I'm going to the sock hop with my best gal. We're going to shake a leg and just have a gay old time. You don't get it. No, I get it. I've been to middle school. It's just not that clever a wordplay if we haven't lived in a time where the word gay was genuinely used in that context. See, gay means two things. You smoke cigarettes. You know there's a slur that's also slang for cigarette in some countries? But since you were raised here and not foggy London town, you have no reason to call a cigarette that word. So when you do, it's because you're looking to say a homophobic slur based on a technicality. It's a joke. Doesn't matter. It doesn't make it clever. Look, I love Eminem. I really do. I just hate a very particular kind of Eminem fan. The kind of fan where any criticism I could have over his songwriting down to the tiniest individual bar or word could only come from a place of not understanding it, as if something just went over my head. So they think that by over-explaining it, it'll somehow magically change my opinion. Trust me, I understood the bar. It's how I've come to the conclusion that it's corny. Wow, you're getting offended by a song that's hella gay. I'm selling this once and for all. The title to Back to the Future makes perfect sense, and if you don't understand it, you're dumb or you've been trolling for the past 40 years. But you can't go back to the future because the future is in the forward. It's a play on words, and it worked great for marketing. Shut up. Doc even addressed it by breaking the fourth wall a little bit. When all the puzzle pieces started to align and he saw the flux capacitor and saw that the lightning was going to hit the clock tower and the 1.21 gigawatts, like when all of that shit started coming together, he said, "We are sending you back to the future." Then he did that weird little like, did that work? Yes, it did! He is trying to send Marty back home. His home just happens to be 30 years in the future. Real life example, I got this shirt in the mail yesterday. Sweet chin music and it won't pass the ox. Schmedium fit pretty good. If it didn't, I'd have to return it. As in send it back to Amazon. There's a lot of things to question about that movie on what makes sense and what doesn't. Like, why would George be so cool with his wife wanting to name their son after the last guy she tried to hook up with before meeting him? Did the parents take precautions to ensure that none of their children set fire to the living room rug so they wouldn't have to determine if they would take it easy on him? Did Back to the Future 2 predict the presidency of Donald Trump the way that The Simpsons would? There's a lot of things to question, but the title isn't one of them.
Platform called Jump. When people leave their seats, other fans of the game can bid to take the up.
Hey, looks like those people are leaving. You thinking what I'm thinking? Yeah, we should bid with thousands of people for the chance to pay admission a second time for a game we're already at. Why would we do that? Look, those seats are empty. They'll go to waste. Yeah, but someone paid full price for them. How's that going to waste? It's a waste of an opportunity for a multi-billionaire team owner to charge twice for the same seat. Duh. Besides, why would someone spend hundreds of dollars on seats and leave before the game's over? It's 83-0 at the half. Exactly. And now you, me, and an entire stadium full of people can bid on the opportunity to watch the remainder of this uncompetitive, lopsided game a little closer than what we originally paid for. You don't think that thousands of people betting on the same seat could potentially inflate the cost well past what those seats were originally worth? More than likely. Especially when you factor in you're only paying for half a game and it's already been decided. That and the service fees. What service are they offering exactly? The service they're offering is the audacity to imagine a problem that never existed and solving that mythical problem with an app that you pay money for. How are you not getting this? So I've had some time to get my thoughts together since the tragedy on Saturday. And when things like this happen, people's friends lists on Facebook or IG followers tend to shrink. And I've noticed that in this case specifically, it's because Republican voters are finding their Democratic voting friends' stance on gun control hypocritical, as if we're all just dancing in the streets because an innocent man is dead from gun violence because it was intended for Donald Trump. I'm going to speak from my perspective and my perspective alone. Corey Compertor is a hero that just so happens to be a fireman. As the son of a battalion chief, I've seen firsthand through my father and his men the kind of heroism it takes to be a fireman. It's the same heroism that threw Corey's body on top of his family to keep them from catching a stray. He is an innocent victim of gun violence. Senseless gun violence. Now, when I list off these numbers, it's not meant out of spite or it's some sort of malicious political gotcha moment, because it's not about quantity. One death is one too many. But we've been wanting to have the talk since we lost 3 in Charlottesville. We've been wanting to have the talk since we lost 3 at the Gilroy Garlic Festival, a place I used to attend as a kid. When we lost 9 in my hometown of San Jose, California, at the VTA mass shooting. Not to mention the 58 in Vegas and the 413 school shootings that has happened since Columbine, that has claimed over 300,000 of our children. How many of those 300,000 children were not also innocent? How many of those children deserved to die because of their parents' political affiliation? Did we once cipher through the bodies to see if any of those children had conflicting political beliefs? No. And we're not going to do it now. And yet, you still blame us. When things like this happen, all we do is offer potential solutions to prevent this from happening to anybody. And yet, all we are met with is right-wing figureheads saying that we're coming for your guns and twisting our words. As if we are the ones that are threatening civil war if we can't find a compromise. Or saying it's too soon to talk about it because emotions are too high. But now that there has been an attempt on fearless leader and not innocent civilians, all of a sudden, compartmentalizing emotions and empathy with political stances is somehow the wrong thing to do? Look, if 300,000 children aren't going to change your mind on the subject, one attempt on one Republican candidate shouldn't do it, right? Do you stand with fearless leader or do you stand with the AR-15 holding civilian? You shut down any sort of conversation on potential prevention of these things from happening for years. And all of a sudden, we're ingenuine because you won't accept anything other than thoughts and prayers. Unless, of course, you're finally willing to listen. Because Corey Comparator did not deserve to die regardless if he was voting for someone I wouldn't. But now that a registered Republican came to a Republican rally and attempted to kill a Republican presidential candidate, and in the process took the life of an innocent Republican voter, are you ready to have the talk? Or are you sticking to your guns?
If you're interested in books, more good books, this is another really good one. Modibo Kadali, Pan-African Social Ecology. This is an excerpt from an interview. In your experience, how did these tensions between authoritarianism and directly democratic...
Now do me a favor. Read each one of these backwards.
Hecna Diffnock Slick 2, B Cap Slick U Soleil, Thwark Slick Oak, Smerk Slick Raf, Matsu Slick Regna, Noitzibma Slick Senizol.
We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science.
But we'll beat the brakes off you in basketball. USA, USA, USA. All right, I have a large iced cappuccino for Catherine at the bar.
Excuse me, hi. Excuse me.
I'm sorry?
Hey, sorry, I don't want to be that person, but is this mine?
Wow, that's a smart question. I'm gonna go with yes because I don't fucking know you. Is your name Catherine? Did you order an iced cappuccino? Which is condescending in itself, by the way, but, you know, I'm not here to teach you barista techniques or basic logic or your fucking name.
Start a fight in 5 words or less.
Hi, I'm Kyle. Let's fight.
I will do so many great things when I'm in office, says the lady currently in office.
Vice President. She holds the office of Vice President and is currently running for President. That's the narrative you're trying to manipulate, right? See, there's levels to this. It's the same reason why you will be complaining to the manager and not the assistant manager when that chicken and waffles you're pretending to eat is too spicy for you.
Because I'm a peace-seeking missile and I found myself. I don't have many friends, so I am by myself. And that's cool. I like me, I'm good for my health. Not you.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
I wonder what the price of each
what it is when you get it. Never thought I'd live to see the day. Men would think it was a treat, fighting poor animals. What I die in the streets. Mrs. Mooney has a pie shop. Does a business, but I noticed something weird. Lucky all the neighbours' cats have disappeared. I have to hand it to her, what I calls enterprise. Popping pussies into pies.
I bought some drugs off of him. Things got mixed up. I didn't mean for this to happen.
I know you're in pain, and I wish I could take that away from you.
I just
wish
needed some money
all
to pay
I
off
do
some
is
stuff.
defend you, and all I get back is that fucking face on your face.
I don't have them anymore.
What a waste. What the hell is wrong with you?
Stop ganging
Don't you
up
ever
on
raise
me.
your voice. I am your mother.
You're not my fucking mother.
Don't you swear at me, you little shit.
Okay, not gonna lie, I've already seen two of them here, and this is actually one of them, so this is perfect. Adam Sandler. I love him to death, and I feel like way too many people focus on his duds. But Billy Madison is one of my favorite movies. I love Happy Gilmore. I love Waterboy. I am going to put him at 5. Jim Carrey. I don't. 1. Like, come on. That goes. Jonah Hill. You know, I'm going to put him at 7. I don't know why that sounds like blasphemous because, you know, Seth Rogen just ends up popping up. You know what? He's going to be right there, slightly in front of Jonah Hill. I may want to swap Jack Black. This is interesting because I love Tenacious D. I don't follow his acting career that much. Like, outside of Tropic Thunder, which I think was hilarious, and he is hilarious, I don't follow his movies. Like, what? There's Shallow Hal and Kung Fu Panda. Like, I hate to do this. I'm putting him at 10. Eddie Murphy! Again, another actor that I know outside of acting. Like, as a stand-up, he's easily in my top 3. An actor, like SNL, he's got Buckwheat and, you know, he's like Hot in the Hot Tub. I'll give him 8. I'll give him 8. I feel bad. Steve Carell, 9. That's cool. I'll put it in there. Will Ferrell, yes. This is hard. I feel like there's somebody else coming. Like, I love Anchorman, and I love him for Anchorman. And I got no problem with putting him in top 3, so I'm going to put him in 3. Mike Myers, you know what? I saw the other one. And when the other one pops up, like, you guys will be so mad if I put this dude at 2. And I think in all fairness, 4 is a good spot for him. Because Austin Powers alone, with the characters he created, it's got to be a top 5 comedic actor. So 4 is a good spot for him. Because I'm not mad with him being behind Jim Carrey. Like, rest in peace. This dude is like my favorite actor. But it's all for a whole bunch of stuff. Why did they use Flubber for that picture, though? I'm not mad with putting him at 2. I'm not mad at this list. I'm not. Let's post. Okay, so this has been killing me all morning. Mr. Diddy. P. Diddy, Papa Diddy Pop. What are we doing here? It's one thing for people to find 1,000 bottles of baby oil in your house. It's quite another to find them in a display case. What is this? That is not how you store baby oil, Mr. Combs. That display case is meant for Ace of Spade bottles and Cambodian breast milk. What are you doing? Tell me you have way too much money without telling me you have way too much money. Sean P. Diddy Combs only uses the finest of baby oils. On display, we have Johnson & Johnson's Blue Label. People are saying in the comments that it's AI. Look, if it is, don't tell me. Just let me have this one. This is...
Is this acceptable? Should she be encouraging people to chug beer in the stands?
Hey, you guys remember when Republican Senator Ted Cruz went on national news and drank beer and the reporter called it heroic? What happened? Yeah, about a year ago, some health expert came out and said that you probably shouldn't drink 2 beers in a week. And Ted Cruz took it as an opportunity to paint the leftists some out-of-touch boogeyman trying to police you into drinking less than 2 beers in a week. But they weren't like making laws saying that they can't sell you 2 beers in a week. If you got caught drinking more than 2 beers in a week, you weren't taken to jail or put down. They were suggesting for health reasons that you probably shouldn't. But Ted Cruz took it as an opportunity to drink a beer on TV in protest to that. You know, so he could look like a tough guy. An everyman who watches football and drinks beer. So if Taylor Swift is going to go to a football game and chug a beer, she wouldn't be the only person there doing it. She wouldn't be the only woman there doing it. She wouldn't be the only blonde there doing it. She is, however, the only international pop star there that's endorsing Kamala Harris. And I think that's where the issue lies. Because your blonde bombshell Kid Rock went on the Republican National Convention stage and rapped the lyrics to American Badass, which I believe in the first two bars he says something like, "They call me cowboy, I'm back with the Justin Bieber hat and slacks. 30 packs of strolls." A 30 pack of strolls. That's an excessive amount of crappy beer. So, what are we talking about here? Like, just say you're a hypocrite and just move on. Leave Taylor alone. I don't even like Taylor Swift like that. I don't listen to her music. I just really, really don't like you. And I'm also disgusted that I know a portion of American Badass, but I watched a lot of wrestling as a kid.
Show me something in your house that tells me who you're voting for.
I can't, because I don't worship politicians. I don't worship anybody for that matter. My wife's a Christian, so there's a Bible in our house, but it certainly isn't a blasphemous Bible/Constitution with a candidate's face in it. The most expensive item of clothing I have is a tailored suit, not a pair of gold shoes that a candidate told me to buy. I've never purchased digital pictures of a candidate as a cowboy or a spaceman or a superhero because our fearless leader can be anything he wants when he grows up. I don't drive around with flags hanging out of my car the size of a small billboard, so if it were to, God forbid, fly off, it would cause a huge traffic accident. I don't keep signs around my house or the office that says that if my candidate loses, there will be civil war. I don't have oil paintings of a candidate. I don't have tattoos of a candidate. And I certainly don't have a cardboard cutout that I sing happy birthday to, because I am not in a cult. And that should tell you who I'm voting for.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy.
Margaret, the rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check.
Do your research. I'm not here to teach you. Just do your research. Look, if you've ever said that in a conversation, just know that I hate you. It's like I was never really interested in your insane thought to begin with, but this is exactly what I want to get out of this conversation, a homework assignment. Saying do your research in a conversation or a debate and walking away feeling like you made your point is like winning a game at Uno because you brought counterfeit reverse cards from home. It's like saying, in the time that it took for me to conceive this insane thought that just fell out of my face, I've convinced myself that I'm right. I just don't know how, so I'd rather you figure that out for me. And then when you ask them a simple question like, why do you feel this way? They go, I'm not here to teach you. I'm not expecting a master class. I'm just trying to figure out what mental gymnastics it took for you to get to the conclusion that Elmo is teaching communism to our kids. Like, is it because he's red? Is it because he likes to share? Is it because he hates rocks? Like, how did we get here? And exactly what research are you expecting of me? As if anything that I brought back that wasn't an AI-generated meme would have any effect on your thoughts on the subject. It's like, you know what, I have done my research, and in the 2 minutes it took for me to do it in this conversation, I've come to the conclusion that you have no idea what a commie actually is. Some podcaster used that word one time to blanket the left's political ideology, and now you use it whenever you have the opportunity, so then you could feel somehow more advanced than the rest of us that also have Google. Also, facts don't care about your feelings. Well, neither do fact checkers. But I guess if you don't bring any facts to the conversations, then your feelings will be just fine, right? It's quite the cheat code. Look at you, go. Do your research is like farting on an elevator, getting off the elevator, and then turning that elevator into an escape room. That's why everybody avoids you on Thanksgiving, because you have to turn everything into a debate. But it's not even a debate if all you bring to the conversation are errands.
Don't start a podcast. Please. It's a horrible decision. I know when you and your homies get blackout drunk, you say to yourselves, oh, holy shit, we should just record these conversations. They deadass would make a banger podcast, but they wouldn't. Nobody cares what your favorite IPA is. Say that back to me. If you think a bear could beat a shark at a fight, just keep it to yourself. remove the microphone from your Amazon wish list, please. You can't make a podcast and call it Triggered AF. There's 9 of those, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not gay! I'm not gay!
Close. But the phrase is, so I dug right down to the bottom of my soul to see what I had inside. Hi, I'm Chandler. I make jokes when I'm uncomfortable. Until I was 25, I thought the only response to I love you was, oh crap, I'm not great at the advice. Could I interest you in a sarcastic comment? Sometimes I like to hold stuff like this and pretend I'm a giant. The cushions are the essence of the chair. Whoopah! You know, on second thought, gum would be perfection. Actually, it's Miss Chandler Bond. Okay, you have to stop the Q-tip when there's resistance. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! We swallow our feelings, even if it means we're unhappy forever. Sound good? Okay, I took the quiz. It turns out I do put career before men. I'm hopeless and awkward and desperate for love. The one thing I got right was that I never gave up. Someday you too might be called upon to do something important. So be ready for it. And when whatever happens, just think, what would Batman do? And do that.
There's the door. There's the door, bitch!
You see that TikTok? That was the sound. That was the TikTok trend I was quoting when you flagged me for violating community guidelines. And this isn't any shade at the person that made this video. I loved your use of the sound. It's why I quoted it in the first place. I'm just using this one in particular to make a point. I quoted the last sentence of this TikTok sound in a comment, and I got flagged for violating community guidelines. Meanwhile, this video alone got over 50 million views on TikTok. So my little comment has technically been heard over 50 million times through your platform. And with all the venomous, hate-filled, bigoted, sexist, racist comments that seem to fly on this app, I get flagged for violating community guidelines for quoting TikTok. Not gonna lie, y'all, I'm stressing. Judge's bat is still frozen, and he's just sauntering around like cold never bothered me anyway. We just love helping out Freeman. Like, we are his biggest support system. At this point, he should sign with us because he owes us. I don't know, man. I don't think anybody's ever come back from a 3-0 deficit in the World Series, but we really need this win because I'm almost positive that nobody's ever come back from a 4-0 deficit. So, now or never, boys. Come on, guys.
What's up, buddy? Here, I know you're hungry. Here you go.
If you've ever used the word sports ball, you're annoying. You're annoying. You're not quirky. You're not the first with this novel idea. You're not floating above the rest of us unevolved Neanderthals that like watching multimillionaires smack a ball with a stick. You're condescending and you're annoying. I'm currently recording this video a little bitter, admittedly, because I am a New York Yankee fan from the San Francisco Bay Area, currently residing in Southern California. I know you're looking at a freaking unicorn right now, but I'm painting you this picture so you can understand my frustrations with the condescending tone of the word sports ball. Since moving down here, I have made beautiful friendships with people from all walks of life, but here's where the frustration lies. If you live in Southern California, and unless you're living under a rock and that rock does not have Wi-Fi, you know what's going on. And it's not that the local sports ball team won the super duper sports ball championship. No. Your local baseball team just won the World Series. And you know that. But you're going out of your way to pretend that you don't because you're being condescending. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to like it. I didn't like it. I spent the last 4 hours screaming at a dude that's in a completely different time zone. I haven't had a decent REM in the past week and a half. I don't like baseball right now. Look, the sport itself is embedded in our vocabulary. I mean, like, hey, you ever go to a job interview and just knock it out the park? You ever strike out with a girl? You ever make it to first base with a girl? It's common terminology.
You can recognize baseball when you see it. It's not sports ball. You're just being a dick for no reason. I don't know. I guess, as Captain Kirk says, may the 4th be with you.
The rubric of this online news article insinuates a pleasant, agreeable outcome, but my skepticism has led me to believe that it is merely an attempt at drawing my attention to a false prophecy through a bait and switch, an almost cyberspace catfishing of false information, if you will. But sadly, that is to be expected in these times, with the powers that be clamoring for the attention of the masses through media as if it were sport. But I will not be fooled. No. For you see, I have already graduated from kindergarten preparation and am in no need to repeat said course. Translation.
It's sort of looking like clickbait, deepfake.
I see you're drinking 1%. Is that because you think you're fat? Because you're not. You could be drinking whole if you wanted to.
I come to sing a song about hope. I'm not inspired much right now, but even so, I came out here to sing a song, so here I go. I guess I think that if I tinker long enough, one might appear. And look, it's here. One verse is done. The work's begun. I come to sing a song about hope. In spite of everything ridiculous and sad, though I'm beyond belief, depressed, confused, and mad, well, I got dressed. I underestimated how much that would take. I didn't break until right now. I sing of hope and don't know how. So maybe I could substitute strength, because I'm strong enough. I got through lots of things I didn't think I could, and so did you. I know that's true. And so we sing a song about hope. Though I can't guarantee there's something real behind it, I have to try to show my nieces I can find it. And so today, when life is crazy and impossible to bear, it must be there. Fear never wins. That's what I hope. See? I said hope. The work begins. What up, haters? It's your boy Max here to address some of these rumors that are floating around TikTok right now. A lot of y'all been hearing some crazy stuff about my line of skincare products and how I'm in legal trouble or whatnot. And to keep it a thou wow with y'all, I am. As part of the settlement of my most recent false advertisement lawsuit, I can no longer use the alias Maximum Profit, thanks to a sworn statement from your boy Max under oath that I am not a prophet. The judge did say I could still sell my product to y'all, including our #1 seller, the formerly named age-defying serum, right after this written statement from my lawyer explaining the name change. The term age-defying was not devised for deception, and I sincerely apologize for any harm it may have caused. It is not to be perceived as having the ability to halt time in a literal sense. Long story short, some boomer bought a year's supply of this shit as a birthday gift to himself, and even though he followed the instructions on the box, he still turned 63 the following year. Also, we still have our topical swelling reduction cream, formerly known as the Fountain of Youth Age Reverser. But due to a separate lawsuit, I am required to remind my followers that age is a form of measurement used to determine the length of time a person has lived. Webster's dictionary defines time as the indefinite continued progress of existence and can go in no other direction but forward. It was strictly for marketing purposes. I cannot stress this enough. None of my products have the ability to halt or reverse the flow of time. Our epidermis hydration and firming lotion, formerly known as the Miracle Moisturizer. It was called Miracle Moisturizer because it could be used as an AM or PM moisturizer. This product does not perform actual miracles. That is an act of God. And if we're being honest, the fact that I've had to explain this to so many people makes me reconsider the thought that God exists at all. Applying the formerly named Miracle Moisturizer to the soles of your feet will not give you the ability to walk on water. Water will not sustain your weight and you will fall in. Melting the product into a vapor and inhaling it will not cure your lung cancer. In fact, I'm pretty sure it'll just make it worse, but what do I know? I'm not a doctor! For the love of God, please don't sue. One of our active ingredients in our products are, in fact, platelet-rich plasma, otherwise known as PRP. Yes, platelet-rich plasma can be found in the blood of infants. No, it was not obtained by the sacrificing of orphan babies. It's extracted naturally by a common reversing process. I can't explain it to you. I'm not a nerd. But just because I can't prove you wrong does not make you right. Just because I can't rent a rocket ship and blast you off into space and physically show you that the world is round does not make it flat. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an all-knowing entity. I'm just an influencer trying to sell you skincare products. I'm not trying to change the world. I'm just trying to make the world a little less ugly.
Bro, does your girl know you're still paying for Bimbo?
Now I do.
What the hell, man?
With the Sprocket Money app, you can see all your subscriptions.
You told me you never tried online dating.
Babe, don't listen to this guy. He is Brad's friend. We hung out like twice. Did you hack into my bank account?
Oh, it's easy with Sprocket Money.
Why are you on Bimbo?
It was a long time ago. I must have forgot.
Now that I'm looking at it, the first payment was only a month ago.
He's lying.
Nope. Says right here, November 15th.
You opened an account on my birthday?
How did you even get in here?
Found your address on the dark web. Oh, and the combo for your front door was your social. Wasn't too hard.
He knows my social.
Sprocket Money can save you thousands of dollars a month.
I've been covering your half of the rent all year and you're spending thousands of dollars talking to skanks on Bimbo.
Not just Bimbo. Tinder, eHarmony, Farmers Only.
Dude.
A couple Grindr accounts. Not gonna lie, saw that coming.
Stop.
Whoa, $60 at Ancestry.com?
See, in this context, it sounds way worse than it is.
With Sprocket Money, he could have easily canceled all these subscriptions with the click of a button. But he didn't.
Give me that. Sloppy seconds. Gym rat lovers. Doppelganger real dolls.
I need help! I'm so sorry. I wanted to get caught.
Sprocket Money. Expose your buddy, then steal his girlfriend.
Why do YouTubers speak in the same voice and cadence and never stray from it? In what part of the world does this dialect exist? Because it certainly isn't reality. They could say absolutely anything and it would be completely devoid of any authentic human emotion and end with the same inflection. Oh my God, we just learned it's a boy. I'm going to be a father. I could cry. The test results have confirmed that it is malignant. You have 6 weeks to live. My condolences. I bet you won't say that to my face. Fight me. Fight me. What up, B-words? I just learned I won the lottery. F-word this channel. I quit. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to take a massive S-word.
California, Florida, 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 Flowrider. What?
Hey, yo. So in regards to TikTok getting banned this weekend, at Kyle G. Caldwell on all other platforms, follow or don't, what do you think it's going to look like? Because more than likely this weekend, I'm just going to be mindlessly scrolling until it happens. So, like is it just going to be like lights out and that's it? Because I feel like with all the drama that's, centered around this, I feel like they owe us, make it memorable. Like, you guys remember that one video of those kids watching like the last broadcast of analog TV back in like 2009? Like, somebody needs to do that for TikTok and like maybe put like an American flag waving and bam, 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 bam. This concludes our broadcast day. And then, pew. I feel like that'd be good.
So I feel like they owe us, since it's like the government's fault anyway. I don't know. At Kyle G. Caldwell.
Hi, my name is Kyle Caldwell, and if you recognize me from this app, it is probably from one video. And I'm going to do the best that I can to address this last TikTok in the same way that I kind of went in, just absolute spitballing. About a year and a half ago, I was waiting for my wife to get ready for a baseball game, and I saw a video of a stand-up comic saying Gen Z doesn't know how to write a check, they don't know how to address an envelope, and I used it as a jumping off point to tell a story of my experience working customer support. The results of that were far, far more than anything that I could have ever imagined. It was 3 million likes, and it shot my followers up to about 37K, I think it is, around that number. And I keep looking at that number, and I'm very sad to see that go away. I want to give this ban my perspective as a person that was not able to fully capitalize on this app while it was here. I'm an actor, I'm a stand-up comic, I'm an aspiring screenwriter as of recently, and I have a full-time job. My followers and the numbers of followers is something that I was insanely proud of and was hoping to utilize when a new web series that I'm currently in the process of writing and producing would be completed. And if nothing else, at least draw attention to whatever platform that would be. When that ban does take place, that number of followers is just going to disappear. I was not lucky enough to truly capitalize on that number while it was here and make it somewhat of a financial income like some of my friends. Not only that, some of my friends have made this app a full-time job. And I'm very concerned about the future for not only them, but other people that are not only in stress trying to figure out what they're going to do once it's gone, but also have an entire wave of people saying that they need to get a real job when it absolutely is a real job. The way that they utilize it, they're small business owners. I do believe that the reason for this ban is ridiculous. I feel it's incredibly short-sighted, and it has no real intent on making anybody in this country's lives better. But as someone who is not reliant on this app for their income, I'm literally just expressing my sadness for losing this audience for no other reason than I had it. When that number goes away, I'm going to be the exact same person, but I will not have that outlet, and it makes me sad. I love writing sketches, and I love editing sketches, and I love collaborating with other creators, and sometimes collaborating with myself. I'm gonna miss being able to spitball stuff. I'm gonna miss watching a TikTok video and using that as a jumping off point just to air out some grievances, go on some political rants, tell a couple of jokes. And not only that, just like relate to people. Know that I'm not alone in my thoughts and feelings on some specific things. So I'm not necessarily going to beg for you to follow me on other platforms, only because my other social media platforms are so different as of now. But what it will let you do is just keep up with me in my life, and it will also hopefully draw your attention to some upcoming projects that I have lined up. That's why I would like for you to go to Kyle G. Caldwell on Instagrams and stuff. So more than likely, this will end up being my last TikTok. And as I said, nothing's going to change for me personally in my life after this weekend, other than the fact that I lose all of you. And I don't even know how many of you guys are going to see this, because I don't know how the algorithm works. But if you do see this, and if you've liked me for any sort of reason, whether it was that video or the couple others that kind of
got some thousands of views, or maybe it was just some random one, like way back in the day, and you just forgot to unsubscribe. Either way, if you saw this and if I made you laugh for a couple seconds before you scrolled to somebody else, thank you for laughing at me. So for the connection that I've made through this app with you, whether it was professional or personal, thank you for sticking around. It's been real, and I will miss you, and I will miss this app. And that's all I got to say about that.